A little dark out here. Try to make it quick nonetheless. What up, though? It's another Monday, another week, and I am here with another intelligent N word so called episode, number 6, where I talk about shit that piques my interest with a little bit of intelligence. Hope y'all enjoying y'all day. Man, it's a Monday, Monday is all, depends on how you feel. My supervisor is feeling quite festive today, feeling more jovial than usual. He was feeling like he was acting like it was a Friday more than a Monday. It was a Friday. I have a blunt in my mouth. Uh, but I'm gonna start off with, how I usually start off. Even though we did not play this week, we got to chill while everybody else, faltered or made it through. Bengals they getting back on their stride. The Eagles they are 8-1. Shit, the Chiefs they gonna be the Chiefs. But I ain't here to talk about none of them. I'm here to talk about my damn Lions. We coming off of a bye week. By tonight, the week 9 will be over with, and we will have to, if we haven't already, practice for our game in LA against the Los Angeles Apple or Android Chargers. And I'm looking forward to this game as much as I am in any game because this is our third game that we'll be playing against the AFC West team, and so far we are 2-0 against AFC West. We're undefeated against every team except for the teams that were second place last season. The Ravens and the freaking Seahawks. Other than that, we're undefeated in our division, even though we played only one team in the NFC North. We're going to be doing that a whole lot more the second half. Um, we've we're undefeated against the NFC South, and we're undefeated against the AFC West. So, the 6-2, that's good. Once again, we got to keep our foot on the NFL's neck, keep our foot on the conference's neck. You feel me? And this is going to be a game that determines whether we can, once again, play on the road under pressure, whatever case. And it's going to be a decent game. I don't know. I can look forward to seeing what we're going to do on offense. Is David Montgomery going to be back by Sunday or whenever we do play? Um, I just want to make sure all of our assets are healthy, and so we can make sure all phases of the game we're gonna be on point for special teams, offense, defense. Um, as far as the Chargers go, I I say this may be a decent game. Depends on what happens. I will never trust Brandon Staley. Justin Herbert, great quarterback. Khalil Mack, somebody you don't want to see come at you. Asante Samuel, Asante Samuel Jr. That dude is just like his daddy, so you better watch out for him. And Austin Eckler, that mulatto who's just as white as he is black. So like they got a good squad, but I can never trust Brandon Staley. Brandon Staley knows how to fuck up a good game. He knows how to lose for his team whenever it matters the most. So I'm not saying I'm hoping for that. We got to hope that we can do our part first before we worry about if our opposing team is going to falter or not under the occasion. We can't falter. That's the bottom line. We're still one of the top teams in the NFC. We're still ahead in the NFC North. So we got to make sure we keep that established. Don't let this bye week show any rust. Um, in regards to the rest of the season, like I said, we're going to be playing the majority of the season. We're going to be playing the majority of the season against our division. After we play the Chargers, we got the Bears, the Packers, back to back, and uh, then after that, the Saints, then the Bears again, then the Broncos, then the Vikings, then Cowboys, then Vikings again. So we're gonna be playing for what? We got 9 more games left. 6 of those games, or 5 of those games, are involving our division, and our division is kind of janky. You know what I'm saying? Kirk Cousins get well soon, but we don't know how more progressive their replacement quarterback is going to be. I forgot what his name was, but he did help them win their last game. I forgot against who. I think it was against the Packers. I'm not sure, but the Vikings we're gonna have to neutralize them. Jordan Love and Justin Fields, as far as the Bears and Packers goes, like, come on, man. Come on. We got this. We got this. The NFC North is looking real fucked up, except for us. So we got to take advantage of that. Take advantage of every situation, every weakness they got possible. You know what I'm saying? Take everything up from under these guys. Let them know that we are the top team in NFC North. Um, like I said, we gotta do what we gotta do against the Chargers. Keep your eye on Brandon Staley. Um, the Saints, uh, with Derek Carr and Alvin Kamara, Taysom Hill, you know, and that's gonna be an away game. Um, it looks like the majority of our games, yeah, they're gonna be like we only got like 4 home games. We only got like 4 home games. The rest of the games are going to be away games. Like it's 9 games, so 55% out of the 55% of our games are going to be away games. So we had to prove how good on the road we can be. Whether it is the Packers or the Vikings, we beat the Packers at Lambeau already. So we got to just do the same thing at Lambeau and do the same thing at I mean not man, but the Soldier Field and at Minnesota. We got to do the same thing. Contain these dudes at their houses. We got to do the same thing at our house too, but those away games really count. So um, the Vikings and Saints, not the Vikings and Saints, but the Chargers, the Saints, the Broncos, and the Cowboys. We have to prove, especially versus the damn Cowboys, that we are worthy. You know what I'm saying? If we can beat, like I said this since the first episode, that Week 17 game is going to be the game a lot of people are going to be looking at because it's already the Niners and the Eagles as the top 2 teams still. I think the Niners had a bye week because they ain't talked about them unless they're playing tonight or something. But the Eagles, they 8-1, so they already showing that nigga. More than likely, we're gonna see somebody at the NFC Championship, and we want that somebody to be us. And as far as the third team, people are still like halfway conversations, especially after that Eagles loss that the Cowboys just suffered because situational football didn't turn out the best for the Cowboys. We're gonna have to like it's showing once again that the Cowboys know how to lose when they lose. Like when they go against clutch teams or clutch moments. You know what I'm saying? So that Week 17 versus Dallas is going to be a season decider for us in Week 17. I'm telling you, and it's going to be a decider for a lot of other people too when they ask who's the third best team in the NFC. In the NFC, that game is going to decide that. So that's that on that. I ain't gonna go too much into it. Like I said, I'll just get to the review of the Chargers game when it happens. Looking forward to it. Like I said, we right now we're 3-1 on the road. Um, yeah, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, 3-1. We're 3-1 on the road. Let's try to keep that keep this near flawless record going. That let's just keep this dominance going that we got. You know what I'm saying? That's all I'm gonna say about the Lions this week. We'll chat about them next week, depending on how they play. Well, depend like going to chat more on about how much time we gonna talk about them. It depends on how they play, win or lose. So that's that for the Lions. Next subject. This is something that I thought about, and it's kind of it's not a it's just something like once again, these are all subjects or things that I think about, and I didn't even know I should have paid attention to this because it's big things. This is a big deal for hip hop, you know what I'm saying, especially for women in hip hop. Last weekend, Missy Elliott became the first female hip hop artist to be inducted in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and rightfully so. If you know about Missy Elliott, if you was born around my time, then you know how impactful Missy Elliott was, not just to women in hip hop, but to the whole hip hop game in general. Um, her visuals, her creativity, her sound with being sided by Timberland, some of the most innovative shit you ever see. Uh, I'll never forget when I first saw The Rain. I'll never forget that shit. I'm like, who in the hell is this black chick looking like the Black Michelin Woman? You know what I'm saying? And the bubble eye lens and the cameras, the fast motion shooting, which is really like, you know, you shoot in slow motion while like you shoot in regular motion while the song is playing super duper slow, and you move into the you move into the like certain sounds and shit. They like Missy really changed the game, man. Videos like "Sock It to Me," uh, what else? Shoot, she's a bitch. It's like work it. She did so she's innovated so many visuals. Like she really thought outside the box when it came to what to look like in hip hop. She wasn't the normal average looking chick. Like around this time, you know, you did like in hip hop in the '90s. You had your women hip hop. You had your female hip hop artists, but you know they had to look a certain part. You know, like you know, i.e. Lil Kim and Foxy Brown. You know, sweet, petite, shapely, gorgeous women that had them roughneck ass bars. This girl Missy, she came in a little overweight, and she had that fun. She gave you the fun element in hip hop. As to where you know Kim and Foxy, they was more gangsters. You know what I'm saying? Foxy, you know, she was fucking with Nas and Jay-Z. Kim, she was fucking with Big. So you have to have that type of background, rapping raw, to be fucking with dudes like them. Missy, she came up out the blue from VA and just came about having fun. Shout out to Jack Boy, man. But she came about really flipped the world on its ear. You know what I'm saying? You know, you saw Busta Rhymes. I couldn't even tell what piece of jewelry he gave her, but it was some dope shit. But I mentioned him because you know the Rhymes, he was out before Missy. You know what I'm saying? Even with "Woo, I Got You All in Check," he had some cool visuals too. He was one of the few innovators as well when it came to you know the visuals and how to you know how to have how to look like you're having fun in hip hop. And shout out to Hype Williams because you mentioned Busta Rhymes and Missy Elliott's videos, you think about Hype Williams. Hype Williams, I think he did "Woo, I Got You All in Check." I think he did. He did "The Rain." He did "Beat Me 911." I believe. He definitely did "Sock It to Me." Put your hands on my eyes can see. But you know, but Missy, she inspired dudes like Buster to do that type of shit. Give me some more. Just the crazy bright colors and the cartoonish antics. You know what I'm saying? Was a definite innovator in visuals and sound. And I get on this and I think about the women in hip hop today. And in this certain time in history, women are definitely taking over the hip hop genre. You listen to the radio right now, I play the radio on the way home, or I ride in the company van and hear the radio. They go like 5 o'clock, 3 o'clock traffic mix and some shit like that. You start these mixes off half the time, back to back to back to back. You hear women rap. Lola Brooke, Ice Spice, Cardi B, Megan Thee Stallion, Coi Leray. You hearing these women go down back to back to back, and they got hits. You know what I'm saying? And um, at a time like this is 2020, so 2020 women hip hop is elevated. As when back in the 2010s and late 2000s, the women in hip hop wasn't getting that much shine. You know what I'm saying? You know, it took for Nicki Minaj to come out the woodwork for other women to come along, and then you got Cardi, and then you got Megan, and then now this whole slew of different women coming out, Lotto, and all of this. You know what I'm saying? But but the women in hip hop are starting to get more play than the men in hip hop. Not saying but basically women are starting to become in the forefront because they're getting a lot more presence. whether it's the sex appeal, the lyrics, or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Sexy Red, Glorilla, so many I can name that that's taking over the airwaves, and it's a good thing. But this is one of the things I'm thinking about when it comes to that. You know what I'm saying? Black women. We talked about this last week in a certain way. You know what I'm saying? Matter of fact, I don't think I did it in this topic. But black women, man, insecurities is a motherfucker. And I ain't trying to talk for y'all, but you talk about dating or competition. You in competition with everybody. Women women want to say that my only competition is the mirror. Then how come you putting up so much filter on your face if it's about yourself? Because you don't want to be outclassed by the next bitch. So I think about that and I think about hip hop. You know, women say they want to be together in hip hop, or they want it to be they want to be a part of dominating, compliment each other, this, that, and the third. But black women are always going to be in competition with each other. Even like what I said back in the 90s, Lil Kim and Foxy Brown had beef. So you never heard a track with them two together. Um, when Nicki came out, before she even had a deal, or at the time when she did have a deal, you listen to Roman's Revenge, and had, the verses that she had was towards Lauryn Hill and Lil Kim. Nigga, she just mad because you took the spot. That shit. Should have wrote a thank you note, you little hoe. Now I'm gonna wrap your corpse up with a bow. That type of shit, you know what I'm saying? Now she gives homage to Foxy Brown, which is cool, but like she just said straight up, fuck Nicki. Fuck Kim. She said, fuck Kim, no matter what the fuck, how big you is. Whatever. I'm not giving you your props. I don't know what beef they had between the time of her ascension, whatever the fuck. But, and even like, and fast forward to now, a couple years ago with that song Motorsport, it's supposed to have Nicki and Cardi on there or something like that. Or like, but they don't but I don't know. It's so I think about shit like that. And then I think about, while I'm thinking about this, the Kendrick Lamar song, We Cry Together. One of the last bars that Kendrick said on that song was, why R&B bitches don't feature on each other's songs. And I think about hip hop women featuring on each other's songs. And I just told you a little brief backstory on that. Now, you may have Nicki Minaj, she may do a remix with other hip hop artists. She did that Freak, she did a remix of Freak, Freaky Girl. And it had some women on there, but who was the other big freaks in hip hop besides Nicki? Megan and Cardi. WAP. And you couldn't put them two on there? Why? Because you just mad because they took your spot, but she's the queen, so nobody can take her spot. But that's the shit that I'm talking about. How come, are women in hip hop really ready to take over? Because if you really want to take over, you got to kill all this insecure beef shit. Now, you may not say you have a beef, but this is the thing, like I said, there can only be number one. There can only be one number one top spot, right? So, are women willing to be humble and say we can all share this piece of pie together? Or is somebody gonna be, is there gonna be that one chick that's gonna be like, fuck that, I need to have the whole pie? You know what I'm saying? Now, Nicki and, I mean, not Nicki, but Cardi and Megan, they've collaborated more than once. That Bongo, that was their sequel. But Nicki, she just put Ice Spice on, but that's, you putting on somebody younger. Ain't Nicki about over 40 right now? Now Ice Spice, I'm sure she's definitely in her 20, 21, 22, 23 or some shit like that. I'm betting that. So she's helping putting younger talent on. But how about extending a hand to those that's out there to show that there is unity, camaraderie in women's hip hop. Now, where's that at? You know what I'm saying? Is it like it's a thing that I think about. Glorilla and Cardi B, they did a song together. Like it's certain collaborations, but I want to remember back in the 90s or even in the 80s, back in the 80s you had We Are the World that was like sung with everybody, every freaking person on there, you know what I'm saying? Like from Ray Charles, Billy Joel, Michael Jackson, Dionne Warwick, like what what's like and it like sometimes it took a certain cause, sometimes it took for a label to say we put this money into to fund a certain country that's famished or suffering or war and whatever the case, then you have a big super collaborative song with all the super great sellers of today's music. um there's a song it's a song I forgot what was it, Jason's lyric, where you got like all like some of the top freaking male R&B singers, what Gerald Levert. It's like all these great male black artists that was like damn near like it's a freaking choir. You know what I'm saying? And I think even on Panther, the women did the same thing. Like the R&B women did the same thing. They did a collaborative effort and like sung something from okay, for the men. I think you know what I'm saying. Uh, and you hear niggas on rap collaborate with a whole bunch of people. Like you hear that a few times. So why can't there be you know I want to hear that. I want to hear a full-on collaboration with all the top female rappers. Like whether it's I don't know, cipher, remix, whatever the case is. I want it to be like who all the top ones. I ain't even got to mention them, but you know what I'm talking about when I say this shit. From the ones like the ones that took over from 2010, and that's been boiling on the way up this year. You know what I'm saying? I want to see that. I want there to be proof that women can stick together in hip hop and not worried about the next bitch. I want to see that because in order for more women to be inducted in hip hop in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, that has to happen. At least in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? Um, Now, as far as women in hip hop as far as Missy Elliott being inducted in the Hall of Fame, that is a huge deal. That's a huge deal because, like I said, she came in pop culture and fucked the shit up for hip hop. You know what I'm saying? She did her fucking job. She did what was supposed to be done. Like, she helped. She kicked that door open that Queen Latifah and Roxanne Shante and MC Light and you know so many other Moni Love, so many other female rappers that came in before her. She kicked that door open. She did what Foxy and Lil Kim could fail to do, and that's stay consistent and be creative. And I'm not saying that to slight them, but they came out around the same time. And granted, yes, hip hop and rock and roll, it's tied in, but it's still separate. How come they not in the? How come they weren't inducted in the Hall of Fame? They came out around the same time. They couldn't impact hip hop just as greatly. So there you have it. Um, Now, like, how come? What about Lauryn Hill? She ain't done enough either. And I love Lauryn Hill, but one EP, like one group EP, one group album, and a top major solo album, it doesn't qualify. Shoot, I would mess around and I'll fuck around. You'll see Erykah Badu get inducted in the Hall of Fame before Miss Lauryn Hill, because at least Badu stuck through the shit. She infiltrated pop culture by being an R&B hip hop blend of what the fuck, you know what I'm saying? While still having some of the best sultry songs. And I'm just saying, women got to stick together. Black women got to stick together in this hip hop shit. And if y'all really want to see it dominate, if Lotto and and Nicki or Cardi or Megan or any of these women, they want to get to where Missy's at, if they want to do that, they got to do something to show that we can stick together, as well as cause what these songs gonna last, man. The songs are gonna last because this the time in the era where this is the shit that's gonna be banging. You know what I'm saying? Delhi, motherfucking Players, Cobra. These joints are gonna be like, these joints are gonna be bangers, and they're gonna be banging out to the test of time. So the legacy of what they do with what they have is gonna be on them. So I am hoping that you see more women get inducted in the more women in hip hop get inducted in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Shout out to Shaka Khan too, because she got inducted in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame as well. Uh, so next up, last Saturday, we just had the second to last, if you want to count main roster, second to last premium live event, Crown Jewel. It was okay. Um, what? But got everybody mad. This is like this rock, the shit was cool to me. Uh, Solo Sikoa beat John Cena devastatingly. Logan Paul is the new United States champion, which is what I predicted. What else? Kairi Sane, she's returned for Io Shirai, Io Sky, during her match with Bianca Belair, disappointing Bayley. So it looks like we're about to see something baked within that storyline. Cody Rhodes beat Damian Priest, duh. Sami Zayn stole Damian's briefcase. But the thing that's got people mad are, of course, the top two titles. Oh yeah, of course, Ripley retained her belt. But what got people mad is Seth is still champion and Roman's still champion. More so, people are mad that, like, I don't know, it depends on how you think it. But the top two Shield niggas are still the standard bearer champions of their brand. And people are like, what breaks my damn buffs, man? If I ain't said it, fantasy booking, super fantasy booking. It's the parts unknown, parts fun known. They got videos of how they would book certain people's returns or endings and all this other crap. Of course, you got people in comments on Twitter, YouTube, wherever you could talk about wrestling, is especially during the current times. You got everybody, especially right after a premium live event or a Monday Night Raw or SmackDown or AEW event. Everybody's talking about how they will book what they like. You know, like I said, fools is mad because Seth Rollins, he's still the champion, and Drew McIntyre ain't turned fully heel and beat him, or shit like that, or or super upset, super duper duper upset that Roman Reigns has been champion for over 3 years and ain't dropped the belt yet. They don't care about finishing the story; they just want the belt off of it. They talk about how they will book this and how they will book that. Now, how about y'all book y'all fucking mouth shut? Like, God damn, man, I really hate fantasy booking. Now, I do predictions, and I do predictions and what I think might happen. That's it. I'm not doing fantasy booking. I'm not going to be thinking about how this should happen. How about you enjoy the fucking show? What the fuck, man? I seriously hate it. I hate fantasy booking. Like, you motherfuckers know what's better for the company, for the audience, than the people that's running it. You know what I mean? You can't please nobody, man. Tony Khan, Triple H, Nick Khan, you can't satisfy nobody. And the reason, but this the thing though, man. I think it's been even if the Attitude Era had social media, I think motherfuckers be bitching about that too. attitude era to a lot of people's eyes, including mine. And I didn't grow up in all of it, but I grew up definitely in most of that time. Ruthless aggression era is when I really started to fall deep dive into it. But if they had social media, if that era had social media, if it was a Twitter and if there was a Twitter, YouTube, and all that shit from 2000 up to 2005, and in 2005 was really when the shit started hitting the fan. YouTube came about, then Facebook, MySpace, and so on and so on and so forth, and then that's where that's when this shit happens now. That's when this shit started happening now. But yeah, man, people will be complaining about that too. But like, I try to take that with a grain of salt. But like, this is getting worse and worse and worse, man. You know, people see feeds or reports or rumors about certain wrestlers, uh, or they just like they just take what they can and run with it, man. Motherfuckers take what they can and run with it, and I don't like responding to. My back, the heck. All right, I don't know what the hell happened there. But yeah, man, motherfuckers take what they can and run with it, and I'll be pissed about it because it's like, how do you know what's best, man? Nah, yeah, Vince McMahon, that's after a certain period of time, he was starting to lose it, not knowing or caring about what it was that the fans want, except like rather the bottom line of how to get to the next, how to get to that next dollar in the next quarter. You know what I'm saying? And he was stuck on his favorites, but now we got this new era with Triple H. And one thing about Triple H that I know about is that he is a he is a long-term storyteller. He's been that way from a minute. Think about how he developed Randy Orton and Batista in Evolution. He made that clear that within 2 years, he told Vince, within 2 years, I'll give you two WrestleMania headliners. And he started with Randy Orton. It took him a little bit longer after he thought he was ready, but he was too immature to handle the limelight. But nonetheless, he got Undertaker right after he lost the World Heavyweight Championship. Batista, he was same age as Triple H, so he was ready. They built him up from November all the way up to WrestleMania 20 to coronate him as the next big monster, as that next dude, as the animal. You feel me? Daniel Bryan. Now, happenstance or not, they've been building up with him, for that Yes Movement storyline. They built him up from SummerSlam 2013 up to WrestleMania 30. Now, granted, CM Punk leaving definitely did help alter the story, but nonetheless, it 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 gave the ending that people asked for. But it was long-term storytelling, long-term booking. I definitely believe that Triple H thinks that WrestleMania is the end-all, be-all. It's the year end. WrestleMania is the end of the fiscal year of the WWE. As far as seasons, that's WrestleMania is the last day, is the last episode. So he wants to make sure that that season finale is going to end with a bang. Now, last year, yeah, some things get changed. I don't even I'm not worried about why or how Rock and Roman didn't happen, but they switched up the plans. They said, okay, even with WrestleMania 39, Roman catching COVID, Big E, Roman catching COVID, keeping him from battling Brock on day one when they were supposed to go at it, and on day one, Roman versus Brock, but Brock got included in the fatal four-way was turned into a fatal five-way, and then Brock wins the WWE Championship, then loses it, then go on to get it back to do the unification thing. They said that that's not how it was supposed to happen, but was it? Really? Was it? Because some people was already talking about it's gonna get like them belts was gonna get unified anyway. So was that supposed to happen like that, or wasn't it? It's like something like take that into consideration that sometimes real life happens. You know what I'm saying? Roman catching COVID, he was like, "Fuck this shit. I'm not going through this shit again." He said, I took half the time off from 2020, from February up to August, to keep from catching COVID." Why do you think he's taking breaks now? To keep himself immunocompromised. He is not getting himself fucked up. I don't give a fuck what y'all think. I don't care. This man's health matters more than anything. And he's earned the right to take the break off. Like he told y'all motherfuckers after he won the two belts, he said for like after Backlash, I'm changing my style up. I'm changing my pace up. He didn't give away that he was gonna be a part-timer, but at the same time he did. He's like, I'm gonna calm down this schedule. I ain't gonna see me as much after this. Like that man's health care is more than anything, man. Cause what's gonna happen if he comes out one day as the undisputed WWE Universal Champion and tells y'all motherfuckers he got struck with like his leukemia is back on his ass again, and then he has to give up the belt. Then y'all gonna be mad as hell because it didn't happen the way it was supposed to happen. But life happens. Life happens, man. And then on top of that, motherfuckers ain't patient. So, like, patience is a bitch for motherfuckers, man. People cannot wait. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's no time machine to fast forward us from here to WrestleMania 40, because that's where he's gonna lose the belt. Let's just get that out the way. Now, yeah, you see pictures of comparing him and Hogan. You know, they're saying that, Hogan, his reign was about over almost 1,500 days, like 1,480 some days. In order for Roman to break that, he's got to hold on to the belt another year. That's not happening. You know that's not happening. So people just really just being stupid and want to do fantasy booking and just hope and pray that you're like, man, just shut the fuck up. Shut up and enjoy the show, all right? Like, y'all, like, people don't know how to appreciate a good thing. There ain't no good thing because he ain't showing up. Man, shut the, like, what would you do? Hmm? If you was in his shoes, fighting leukemia, you didn't spent the first 8 years of your career going by what your old boss told you to do, and it hasn't been working. You finally do it your way at a late time, and people like it, but at the same time, you still fight with your health. What matters more? The people's thoughts about you or your freaking health? What your family thinks about you, man? This motherfuckers is crazy, bro. Motherfuckers is crazy. But then you're gonna hear people say, you knew what you signed up for. Yeah. But you also know what you watching. You also know who this person is. So stop acting like this ain't nothing that you ain't privy to. Like y'all act like the leukemia is a part of the script. And I'm mentioning Roman Reigns because everybody giving him this plaque. And the reason why they're doing this is because they like him as a heel so much. They like, like I said, you finally get to be the person you wanted to be. You get to be that badass. Like you get to be the tribal chief, the head of the table, all that shit, and you got people loving it. But because you're having limited appearances, you're being a part-timer, people don't like that. Well, too bad, so sad. Like I said before, this dude has his health to worry about. Now, I don't give a fuck what he's doing on his vacation, as long as it's keeping him freaking healthy and able to do the matches that he wants to do in the PLEs that he's in. You know what I'm saying? You know he's going to deliver. You know that. Whether he's on the mic or on the ring, in the ring, he's going to freaking deliver. So just enjoy the fucking show. He's going to lose the belt at WrestleMania 40 to Cody Rhodes, okay? God damn. You know, and I definitely feel like the reason they was probably going to do The Rock versus Roman at 39, besides the fact that it was going to be, like, you know, WrestleMania goes Hollywood, besides that fact, it was because they felt that Cody wasn't ready to get the belt yet. I said this when it happened. You come back from like, you know, he comes back initially at WrestleMania 38. First 3 months, knock it out the park with Seth Rollins. 2 great matches and then a Hell in a Cell killer. But you get your pectoral injured and you're gone for the rest of the year from June up to January. Come back at the Royal Rumble at number 30. Win the Royal Rumble and you think like, and think you're going to just win the title after you've been gone for 6 months? Hell no, he wasn't going to win that bitch. He wasn't going to win that bitch like that because people, like, you know, people couldn't hate him. Like, you know, if he won that belt like that, people would have hated him because he didn't have no hardships. Like, Cody Rhodes had 3 straight wins against Seth Rollins and PLEs and then got injured and came back and win the Royal Rumble. There was no hard times in that. None. So this is his hard times year. Him losing at WrestleMania, the Brock Lesnar saga, that's his, like, him fucking with the Judgment Day. This is all the hard times year. All hard times. Remember, he's the American Nightmare. He's trying to complete the story for him and his father. His father said hard times when a man work at a job for 30 years, they give him a watch, kick him in the butt and say, hey, a computer took your job, daddy. That's hard times. Hard times for Cody Rhodes is coming back from a pectoral injury, winning the Royal Rumble, and going to WrestleMania thinking you're going to beat the whole bloodline. Even with Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens helping him. That's still 3 versus 5. Roman, Jimmy, Jay, Solo, Paul. You ain't beating that. So this time, he's going, like, they like long-term storytelling. This is Triple H on doing long-term booking. He said on the Raw before WrestleMania at that time that your boy Jay's going to leave you, Jimmy's going to leave you, then Solo's going to leave you, then Paul's going to be an advocate again, and you're going to be all by yourself. But he said that was going to happen when he lost the titles. But you see, it's starting to happen now. Jey Uso, he bounced and went to Raw after he was done with all the manipulating for Roman. Jimmy, he's acting like a goddamn fool being second quarterback with the bloodline. Solo, he just got one of the biggest wins of his career. He may not need the bloodline. And Paul Heyman, this shit's gonna keep stressing him out to one day the only thing that could be his safety net is the beast incarnate. So by the time WrestleMania comes, it will be Roman by himself with maybe Paul Heyman behind him. But Paul Heyman, he ain't gonna be active and try to beat up Cody. Last person that put his hands on on Paul Heyman was Brock Lesnar at the SummerSlam Last Man Standing match. Epic shit, by the way. But like, just wait, man. Just wait. Quit, kill this fantasy booking shit, man. Enjoy the fucking ride. People ain't got no patience no more, and I just get sick of that. So that's what breaks my buffs is fantasy booking. That's about it for this episode. You know, as far as the notes I had, I thought about going one more bid in with the Calico Bar Appreciation because there's still some other battles that I didn't mention, but I ain't gonna get on that right now because I still have to look up a few. Like, you know, it's, like I said, there's definitely a few battles that I forgot about, but some of them were in smaller stages. And if it ain't on URL, it don't. Nah, I'm just playing. But I ain't gonna get into that. I'm gonna stop it right here. It is damn sure surprisingly good day out here. You know what I'm saying? It's finally dark, but it was 61 degrees today in November. November, what's this? The 6th? Yeah. So it's like, God damn, you know what I mean? So I had to I had to, take advantage of that. I don't know how it's gonna be next week. I don't know what the weather's gonna be like, man. But nonetheless, I will be back next week to talk more intelligent shit. And I'm happy for y'all that stayed, that's still watching this shit. You know, it ain't much, but like I said, we got to start with the ugly phase. And for y'all that's sticking with me through the ugly phase, I appreciate every single last one of you, man. Um, by the end of the year, I will be definitely having more stuff invested into this podcasting. Like I said, I got my MacBook now. I'm about to start, putting in more money on audio equipment, microphone, maybe. No, ain't no maybe. But the software and hardware needed to give y'all the quality that I want to give y'all. So just stick with me, y'all. Stick with me. This ain't going to end like this. You know what I'm saying? So just stick with me. Like I said, I still, think about co-hosts, special guests and things like that. But, until I can, get those connections or, get that time to get to talk to the folks that I want to interact with and say, hey, let's do this. You know what I'm saying? Until then, it's me and you, baby. It's me and you. So enjoy the rest of y'all week, man. If y'all, run up on some money, cash at me. I might put my cash app on my description. But no, man, enjoy y'all week. Keep doing what you do if it's helping you. But until then, I will see you next week. And I'm out this bitch like newborn puppies. Yeah.